Charities claim to heal the sick, feed the hungry, and aid the afflicted. But what if I told you many profit from donations instead of providing help? Some manipulate emotions, exploit legal loopholes, and funnel millions of dollars into executive salaries and luxury perks. Others are outright scams, disappearing after collecting millions in donations. Many nonprofits spend as little as 5% of donations on actual aid, absorbing the rest into overhead and advertising. This isn't just the case of a few bad actors, it's a systemic issue fueled by weak regulations, tax loopholes, and donor naivety. And in this video, we're going to cover exactly how this abuse happens. Charities operate like businesses, relying on three main revenue sources: private donations, corporate and government grants, and tax-exempt status. Public donations are largely driven by heart-wrenching ads and social media campaigns which push people to give impulsively. Corporate sponsorships and government grants inflate budgets, making organizations appear more impactful than they really are while allowing waste to go unpunished. Tax-exempt status benefits both charities and wealthy donors, turning massive contributions into tax write-offs rather than pure philanthropy. In an ideal system, most donations should go directly to aid programs, with only 20 to 30% covering administrative costs. However, many charities manipulate expense reports, disguising unnecessary spending under vague labels like awareness campaigns or educational outreach. This misleading financial reporting creates an illusion of effectiveness, deceiving donors into believing their money is making an impact. Although nonprofits must report their spending, many self-reported financials are misleading or at least difficult to verify. Regulatory agencies like the FTC and IRS oversee charities, but weak enforcement and rare investigations allow fraudulent organizations to thrive. Some even rebrand and shut down under new names to escape scrutiny. Until the charity industry faces stricter regulations and donors become more informed, the illusion of generosity will continue to mask widespread financial exploitation. But where does all this money actually go? A charity's effectiveness is often measured by its program expense ratio, which tracks how much funding goes towards aid rather than administrative costs. Reputable charities spend 70 to 80% of donations on direct aid, with only 20 to 30% allocated to operations. However, some of the worst offenders in the space spend as little as 5 to 10% on actual programs, using administrative costs as a catch-all term for unnecessary spending. Many charity CEOs earn 6 or 7-figure salaries comparable to corporate executives. While they claim these salaries attract top talent, they drain money from the causes they claim to support. Beyond salaries, some charities spend donor money on lavish benefits, including 5-star hotels, first-class travel, and extravagant retreats disguised as fundraising events or leadership conferences. Some charities spend more on marketing than on actual aid, directing money towards telemarketers, celebrity endorsements, and high-budget ad campaigns. While they justify these costs by saying more donations lead to more impact, much of the money simply circles back into the organization rather than reaching those in need. Effective charities prioritize direct assistance, ensuring funds go to those who need them rather than excessive bureaucracy and self-indulgence. Yet, many large organizations maintain the illusion of legitimacy as humanitarian efforts while operating more like corporations. Without stronger regulations and greater donor scrutiny, fraudulent charities will continue exploiting public goodwill, siphoning millions from well-meaning donors. Some charities engage in outright fraud while others operate in legal gray areas, using deceptive financial reporting to misallocate funds under perfectly legal means. But perhaps the most optimistic fraud is disaster relief scams. These fake charities spring up overnight following natural disasters or humanitarian crises, collecting millions in donations from well-meaning donors before disappearing or failing to distribute funds. The 2010 Haiti earthquake, for example, example, saw dozens of fraudulent charities emerge, some of which disappeared after receiving millions in donations. While most charities do operate ethically, fraudulent organizations damage public trust in philanthropy. Without stricter oversight and greater accountability, corrupt charities will continue to divert funds from real causes, profiting off people's generosity while providing little to no aid. We can see this with some of the most infamous cases in financial history. Throughout the years, several high-profile charities have been exposed for squandering donations, committing fraud, or misleading donors. In 2016, the Wounded Warrior Project, one of the largest veterans charities in the world, was found to be spending less than 60% of donations on aid, while executives indulged in luxury travel, extravagant conventions, and first-class flights disguised as fundraising events. The scandal led to the firing of the CEO and internal restructuring, but not before millions had been wasted. Another was the Cancer Fund of America, exposed in 2015. It operated as a web of fraudulent cancer charities, raising $187 million while spending donations on lavish vacations, luxury cars, and executive salaries. The FTC labeled it one of the worst charity scams in U.S. history, eventually shutting it down after most of the money had already been stolen. The We Charity scandal of 2020 revealed financial mismanagement and political corruption where millions in government grants and donations went to the charity's founder rather than aid programs. The backlash resulted in widespread criticism and the closure of operations in multiple countries. Finally, one of the most shocking cases was that of the Red Cross Haiti earthquake scandal. Despite collecting nearly $500 million for disaster relief, the organization only built 6 houses in Haiti. Much of the money was lost to administrative costs, bloated salaries, and vague project expenses, highlighting severe financial mismanagement. These scandals underscore the ongoing issue of financial abuse in the nonprofit sector. Without rigorous oversight and increased donor vigilance, fraudulent nonprofits will continue exploiting generosity while leaving real aid efforts underfunded. Why hasn't anything been done about this so far? Well, the biggest problem is lack of transparency and social pressure. A lot of people don't know this is happening, and there's often a cognitive dissonance that prevents donors from questioning where their charitable money is going. Many charities hide financial records, making it difficult to track donations. People give money to avoid appearing indifferent, and once they have donated, they rationalize their decision rather than confronting potential red flags. The good deed effect creates a sense of moral satisfaction, reducing the likelihood of follow-up to ensure funds are being used effectively. But what do we need to do to change this? In my opinion, the answer is simple. We need stricter regulations, transparency, and smarter giving habits. Governments need to enforce third-party audits and crack down on misleading marketing practices in nonprofits. Donors should take the time to research charity using watchdog sites like Charity Navigator and GiveWell. Look for detailed spending breakdowns and avoid telemarketing scams where up to 90% of donations never reach those in need. Supporting local or grassroots organizations often results in more effective aid distribution. However, meaningful change requires donors to stay informed and demand accountability. Fraudulent charities thrive on ignorance. Asking where your money truly goes is the first step in preventing exploitation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in this one about the dark web economy.